So welcome everyone. Welcome to Physics by Aryan. So this is Aryan this side, and I am a physics teacher by profession. And basically, I'm a physics student. And being a physics student is always a most interesting thing that you can be. But these days, biggest problem we are all facing right now is that the biggest challenge that we have to learn the physics, number one, right, is that we have to learn the physics as well, but also we have to get the good results out of it, right? Good results out of that. We want to do good in the rank in the competitive exams. We have to do good in our college examination. We have to make a living out of physics, and we cannot ignore all of that. If we start ignoring all of that, then it is not a sustainable. So we have to come up with an idea that which actually combines the two things. Number one, learning physics and enjoying physics. That was the main reason we all entered into the field of physics. We choose physics, not we didn't choose the chemistry, we didn't choose the mathematics. We specifically choose the physics for our bachelor's degree, or for the master's degree. And second idea is that we have to combine our knowledge, whatever we are learning, to bring out the results, so which is basically competitive exams. So I have a good amount of experience in both of these things, that how we can go both hand by hand. And it's a very wrong myth that you cannot do both of them hand by hand. So that I will be focusing upon. So I am starting 2 week course which is completely free for everyone can join. I will give you the entire schedule when we are going to have the live classes and what we are going to cover. But the main idea in this course, what is going to happen, I would not say it course, I would say that it's like a old school days when the physics professors used to come up and gives the physics talks. And also they are learning from the students who are attending these lectures, because many times the students who are sitting are much more knowledgeable than professor itself. So it's basically a sharing of the knowledge, and that sharing of knowledge has one thing in common, that it is not a random sharing of physics. It is basically a very useful amount of things that will actually help us in competitive exams as well. So in this 2 week course, what I'm going to do, we are going to learn physics. First of all, let's make that clear. In this 2 weeks, you will have roughly 8 to 10 classes. Okay, and this is not just small classes, it's 2-3 hour long classes. And but you will not realize that when the time is over. So it's going to be very interactive classes. I'm going to give you many trivia questions. I'm going to give you a lot of good physics history, and then connect you to all the formulas that are required in the competitive exam. But in this 2 week, what my aim is, or how I have designed this, is that it will help you minimize your phone usage. And that has worked for me. You use the more phone when you are bored of your original studies, whatever you are supposed to study and you are not able to enjoy that, then you go and use the more amount of mobile phone. You are more towards the social media, you are wasting more of your time, and that happens with everyone. No one in this era can say that I am not distracted by the mobile phone. No one can say that. Everyone is. But once you are indulged in the work, let's say you are not able to sleep, you are not able to use the mobile phone, you are not able to relax, because some physics is going on in your head, because something you are willing to learn, because some targets you have for today which you want to complete today, that those targets are we need to achieve. And that is why we are not able to use the phone. So I'm going to minimize your phone usage. If that is a problem for some of you, I'm not saying that this might be a problem for all of you, but if this is a problem, please let me know in the chat. But I will make sure that your phone usage goes down, not by tracking your phone usage, but by giving you something more interesting. Okay, then I ensure you that these physics lectures will be very fun. And then when you are out of this 2 week course, you can talk about those physics concepts with anyone, and that person will enjoy having a talk with you, that okay, this person actually knows what a light is, this person actually know what an atomic physics is, right? And interesting concepts we will cover, not just this is a formula, how this formula has been coming up, what is the significance of that. But it does not mean that we are wasting the time doing the mathematics. We are deriving the formula, right? Then interview questions. What kind of interview questions can be there? And we will play some sort of games. right? Cover up the important syllabus. So we have to cover up the syllabus, and that syllabus has to be the part of the CSR net, has to be the part of JAM, has to be the part of JEST and TIFR, so that we are not just learning randomly, we are also enjoying the physics. And we are also getting the output of it. We are covering our syllabus, which is required for an examinations. Okay. So that is also one of the very important thing. Then I will teach you how to solve advanced physics problems. And we will be covering the books like YK Lim. We will be doing many previous year questions of CSNet Part C, IIT JAM. Just we will be including those PYQs also, and we will be including the problems of the books itself, standard books or the problem solving books, whichever are required at that moment. Okay, to enhance the knowledge of that concept. Okay, and those lectures I have taken care of, that all the best lectures in our field. For example, MIT lectures for quantum mechanics, nuclear physics lectures by H.C. Verma sir, quantum mechanics lectures by Balakrishnan sir. So all the notes that I have made for myself, I am going to convert that knowledge to you, so that it's not actually my own ideas, but the ideas are directly taken from the great teachers who have made the subject so much easier for us. But the only problem with those lectures is that those are for the graduation students. So we need an expertise, which I'm going to do here, is that we need to convert those lectures into a useful resource which can be useful for the competitive exams. Because completing the entire MIT lecture series, completing the entire series of H.C. Verma sir lectures is not possible. We have to also take care that we have a limited time, and we also have a competitive exams to prepare for. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do right now, that I'm whatever is useful from that lecture, especially for your exam point of views, I'm going to give you that complete recipe. And in this course, book reading will be the integral part. So we will be reading the book, and we will be focusing the standard books, and basically I will be teaching you that how to read the foreign author books for competitive exams. You might have heard many times that read Griffiths, read this book, read that book, Klepner and Kolenko, so and so many books are there. But when we go on reading the book, we do not understand that, okay, I'm understanding the text, I'm able to do the maths maybe, but how to use this book for my competitive exam point of view. If I'm preparing for, let's say, JEST and BARC, I want to complete this book, but at the same time, I also want to prepare for those exams. So that you will be learning in this. Okay. So these are basically the goal ideas. And now I'm going to, yes. So some are asking that, is it important for BARC? So I'm starting with atomic physics. I'm going towards nuclear physics, going towards quantum mechanics. Each and every topic I'm teaching is extremely important for any competitive exam. Either it is NET, JAM, JEST, GATE, they directly the questions will be coming, because I will also be discussing the problems in my lectures, not just the lectures itself. I will be giving the schedule of the questions also. Okay. So the one thing that will begin is my lecture. So I'm coming and giving you the lectures. But other than that, I will be giving you some book readings, and we will be doing those book readings together. So in book readings, for example, this is a text from the Griffiths book. And in that text, it's a very complicated text. First time, sometimes the student look at it. It's such a simple idea, divergence of electric field. Now, what is this text is telling us? If a new student who is not familiar with the foreign author books, and you give that book to that student, and then you ask that student that, are you able to understand anything from this text? Then the answer will be no. The reason being, because you see, this is a very important equation they are using from the vector algebra, vector calculus. You see, these are the kind of the pure journal mathematics notations they are using. And then the hidden idea is not very clear from this. What is the main important idea from this entire text? What are the things that is not mentioned here, but you should be knowing that? So we will be talking about that part. That what is the validity of these formulas? What is the significance of these formulas? What does these terms means? And what is the most important idea that you have to take from this basic entire document? So we will be doing the highlighting of the documents a lot. That, okay, from this topic, I need to remember these things. I need to take care of these things. Rather than just doing it as it is written, I need to find a meaning of this text in this. So that is what I will teach. And basically in 2 weeks, you will get trained in such a way that you can do it. You can keep doing it later with other books as well. So basically, I'm not going to tell you everything. Rather, I'm going to tell you a way to do the things so that you can implement that in any subject. Okay. So there will be a detailed talk on the book's important topics. So these lectures are going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So 4 days, these lectures will be there, and roughly these will be for 3 hours, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now I have divided those 3 time periods into 3 parts so that you can join according to your requirements. I do not expect all of you to be present for all 3 hours. If you will be, you will be benefited. But from 6 to 7, I will be teaching you the concepts. I will be teaching you some new things. I will be explaining you the things. I will be giving you trivia questions and basically developing the intuition in you that, okay, this is light and these are all the formulas. But okay, we have to get an intuition of these formulas as well. And then tomorrow, when I will give you the first lecture, you will also realize that, okay, yeah, we are actually, we never thought about this. Okay, E equals to HC. And those questions are directly from the JEE mains, JEE advanced, your GRE examination, your set exams, right? Because I have seen those questions and I know that when some student learn about the light, they never think about this. So we will cover those parts of the things. So 1 hour is only for learning, only for teaching. I will be giving you the new concepts in this 1 hour. And then 7 to 8 p.m. is only for problems, many new problems. So, and every problem is like a very famous problems for the competitive exam point of view, that if you are able to do those problems, you might able to do the questions of the CSN, able to do the questions of the BARC, just TIF or whatever. So many easy to difficult problems. So we will be covering those problems. These will include PYQs, yes, but these will also include at the same time book solving. How to solve the book. For example, if someone says that read the Griffiths, then you should be knowing that what kind of problems I have to solve from Griffiths if I'm preparing for competitive exams. For example, if someone says that prepare Jet Li for quantum mechanics, then how do I solve the problems of Jet Li, or how much problems I solve from Jet Li, so that I am good in that book as well as I am learning my competitive, it is helping me in competitive exams. So 1 hour will be for just solving the problems. So it will be 3 lectures every day. Every 3 lectures will have the different meetings. So I will give 3 different links every day. And the last session will be doubt solving. Now this will be doubt solving. If the doubts are less, I will be giving some more problems to you so that you can have more doubts. But this is basically your doubt solving time, that whatever homework is being given, whatever the problems has been given to you as a part of your homework, we can discuss on that. Or let's say you have any doubt of your own from any subject, you can talk with me. We can have a discussion on that problem. So 8 to 9 p.m. is going to be a doubt solving session. So there are going to be 3 hours of every day. Now, let's say you only have a doubts. You don't have anything else right now going on. You are preparing for exam, but you have some doubts. So you are free to join in and you can send me the doubts. For example, let's say your lecture part is very good. However, even if it is so good, please do not skip the lectures. You will really enjoy those. But let's say you don't have the time for lectures. You can come and join for problem solving. So it's up to you. So these are the 3 hours I am going to spend, and roughly in 2 weeks, there are going to be 8 lectures of, means 8 into 3, 24 hours of classes will be there. The link of those classes will be available in Physics by Aaron Telegram channel. So if you are not in a Telegram channel, join the Telegram channel. Okay, and the link will be available wherever you are seeing this video. You will be seeing the link in the description, and then you can join the Telegram channel. So every day the link will come there. You can join directly from there. Okay, and in that content itself, I will be covering atomic physics, many important topics. I will be covering the important topics from quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and electronics. Many times I will be entering into the territory where I am free from any subject and I'm just teaching you the topic which is important for both competitive exams and from any point of view. For example, when I'm talking about the spin, it is not important that if spin is being taught from the quantum mechanics point of view or spin is being taught from the atomic point of view, because spin is a spin. You need to know how to do the questions of that and all of that. So many important topics will get covered by the time, and you can evaluate every day that if today's lecture helped you or not. If it helps you, you join the next day. If it is not helping you, you can stop joining. So that's my open for everyone policy. But you will really enjoy those, because you have never seen a course in which the research papers are discussed at the same time and the PYQs are also discussed at the same time. Either it is always the research paper only, or either it is only the PYQs. So it's a combination of both, and that's a new technique also I'm going to do. So give me the feedback openly on after every day's class. Okay. So the lectures will be uploaded on the same day on YouTube. Okay. So every day I will be uploading the lectures on the YouTube. You can go and watch the lectures if you miss the class by any chance. And the course fee will be completely free. You don't have to pay for any fee for this course. But I would say that if you enjoy the classes and you think that your other students should also get to that, please share the Telegram channel link with your friends so that more and more students can join in the class, and that will be good for all of us. Okay. So that will be very, very nice if you can do that, but that's a voluntary thing. If you do that, it helps me also. But as such, there is no fees for this course. It's completely free. And you can give for any demand. If it is possible, I will be trying to fulfill it, but not everything can be covered in 2 weeks. So we have to constrain ourselves that after 2 weeks, at least your exam scores increases by 10-15 marks. And at the same time, your interest in physics is also redeveloped. You are not doubtful about the physics. You are enjoying the physics again. The very first time when we studied the physics and we started enjoying that, I want to reignite that feeling in you. That, okay, that now I'm again in that passion mode of thing that I am enjoying the physics. Okay, so both things I want to achieve in the same thing. Okay, so this was about the course part. Now I want to cover some of the things which are very, very close to every aspirant. For example, basically, first thing I will do is that the biggest problem in any online course which comes across is that student asks the number one question: how do I manage the time? I do not have the time. I absolutely don't have the time. How do I manage the time to? I cannot even give you 1 hour, right? I cannot give you even 1 hour. Why should I give you 1 hour? Okay. And how do I manage my time so that I can become a good in physics subject? So number one thing which I'm going to teach you today is routine planning. And this is not something that wake up at 8 a.m., sleep at 9 p.m. kind of strategy. This is the strategy which works, and 110% works. If you are doing it, executing this strategy for your routine planning, and if you are a student, or does not matter if you are a professional job, you are doing the job, or if you are a college student, or if you are a dropper, it works. It's a one strategy which works for everyone, because this strategy gives the flexibility to you to change the schedule according to you. This is not a rigid strategy that I am coming and saying, okay, wake up at 8 a.m., sleep at 9 p.m., study at this time, and you have the kids at home, and everything is there. So this strategy is for you. This is personal strategy. This is a general recipe which you have to specify for yourself. So when you are starting to do the routine planning, number one thing, no mobile phone, no laptop. So do not download any app on the mobile phone, or do not use any computer to do the routine planning. Either use pen or paper. If you do not have the pen, means you have pen or paper, but or you can use the pen tablet. So let's say you have a tablet, you can do your planning at the tablet. Or if you don't have a tablet, you can use pen, paper. Both are equally good, right? So only use two of these things. Try to minimize your phone and laptop usage. Do not, until unless you actually require your phone, only open it. Do not open it for unnecessary purposes, that I'm opening my mobile phone for planning, I'm opening my mobile phone for downloading book. Until unless you exactly know that which book you need or which planning app you need, do not open your mobile phone. Okay, so that is the number one thing I would say. Then when you are in front of your, so let's say you start a day and or end your last day, whenever you want to do this planning, and you are in the front of pen and paper, you have a pen in one hand, you have a paper in front of you. First thing that you need to do is calculate the number of hours you can study. For example, until unless you do this, there is no way you can plan. People usually plan reverse, wrong planning. I want to achieve this. So put everything in a to-do list, and then by the end of the day, you are not able to achieve that. The reason being because you did a wrong planning. You have a capability to study 4 hours, but your plan timetable is saying that work, which is approximately 12 hours. So this is an optimistic thinking, nothing else. Or some students are not even able to plan their work, and that is why they're doing the work oriented planning. So now what I'm going to tell you, that you have a 24 hours, right? Everyone has a 24 hours. This is a plan for a college student. I'm giving an example. You change it according to yourself. Okay. So now first task I have is, before even I start my planning, I have to calculate that how many hours I can study today. For example, if I'm a college student, I can say that from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I have to be in college. So 9 hours are gone. So let's say you are doing a job, then your 9 hours are gone. But let's say you are a dropper, you don't have any college to go. Then these 9 hours goes directly to your bank. These 9 hours you can study. And if you're not studying, that's up to you. But these 9 hours you can spend on study. But let's say I am a college student, 9 hours goes there. Then I have to rest, I have to sleep in a daytime, not in a night. I'm not saying about night sleep. Never calculate night sleep. That I will, people start their planning by night sleep. Night sleep is the last thing. In a day, I need some 1-2 hours of sleep, because after coming to the college, from the college, or even if you're not going to college, even in an afternoon, in an evening, every person needs 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep, so that they can study actually. Because we are not doing we are doing the brain's work. We need to give him a rest. And then travel, food, chores, 3 more hours I will spend on that. So already my 14 hours are gone, and I don't have a control on this. So don't try to control that. Na? If you don't have a control on these 14 hours, don't try to control it at all. Now you are left with these 10 hours. In that 10 hours, there are only two things you will plan: study and sleep. Now try to reduce your sleep if you want to. You can give 4 to 6 hours to study. If you're giving 6 hours to study, then you will give only 4 hours to sleep. And you can manage on that, because 4 hours of sleep in night, 2 hours in evening, 6 hours of sleep is enough. Okay. So you can manage on that. But let's say you are giving 6 hours to sleep, then you only left with this 4 hours of study. So at least your study should range from 4 to 6 hours, even after a long college day. That is the idea, that I am studying 4 to 6 hours a day, even after a college. And I am managing my 4 to 6 hours of sleep. But now there are some factors, and this calculation is not like monthly calculation, that today I'm going to decide that what will going to happen every month. Today you will decide only about today, that today I can study this many hours. Today I am fresh, I don't need to sleep a lot. Let's say you wake up today and you were very sleepy. So you know that today I have to sleep 6 hours in night so that I can manage myself. But let's say today you wake up and you realize that, okay, today I'm fresh already, my sleep cycle is okay, so I only need to sleep 4 hours. So today I can basically give this much hours. I can give 5 hours, let's say. Then tomorrow again the calculation will be done. Again calculation will be done. So this calculation will be done every day, and it hardly takes you 5 to 10 minutes. Now this calculation can have many factors. For example, events. You have some family event, you have some friends event. Let's say your mother has a birthday, your mother's birthday is today. So you have to spend time on that. So you should spend time on that. So that are the kind of factors which will reduce the number of hours you can give today. For example, it will also depends upon if you are a dropper, if you are a college student, or if you are going to an office. So that will also depend upon this thing. So this second factor will actually be that what kind of person you are, what kind of duties you are currently obeying. Then commitment to loved ones. Okay, so let's say you are married, then you have to talk to your wife. Let's say you are a person in a relationship, you have to talk to your girlfriend or a boyfriend. Everything is important. If you do not, then you will have a big fight. So you need to make sure that whatever is commitment to your loved ones, you are living in a hostel and you're not calling back to your family, your parents. These kind of things also has to be included. So what are my commitments towards the loved ones? I at least need to give 2 hours to my person who I love. So then that 2 hour has to go to that person, and dedicatedly should go to that person. That this time is allotted for this person in my schedule. So that is also one of the factor you should consider, that after doing that, how much time is left for my studies. Otherwise, what happens is that people are also messaging their loved ones, and also at the same time they are studying, and then these kind of things are very bad. So you should be doing what are you are doing 110%. Make a plan first. Okay, I will give this person this much time. I have my kids at home, I will give that kids that much time. Or I will call my parents, I will talk to them 30 minutes. So that is the thing. Then mental, emotional, and physical health is also one of the factors. Today you have 102-degree fever, then obviously your study hour for today is 0. Let's say your emotional health is very bad, you are feeling depressed or something like that, then obviously first thing that you need to do is talk to someone and go and fix yourself first and get into the good mood, and then only you can do the calculations. So these kind of factors are also there. So after these factors, try to calculate that today I can study this many hours. So because we are not a student, so completely we are adults, we are all above 18, so we have all the life commitments. So we have to be very smart on daily basis. First thing we have to do is calculate that today I can study 5 hours. Okay. So let's say now I have 5 hours. Now I will use these 5 hours to allot to the goals. So now I will allot the goals for this 5 hours. First thing is like, okay, I have some urgent assignment submission. Today I have a last date for this assignment. So I need to give 1 hour to that. So 1 hour goes there. I cannot change that. Otherwise I will get 0 grade. For example, I need to attend physics bar and live class. So I need to give 3 hours there. I need to do the self-study because whatever sir will teach, he will give me some homework. I need to complete that homework. So 1 hour I need for that point of view also. So that is how I will allot my 5 hours. If you have more time, you will be allotting, okay, 5 hours I will be doing PYQs. Okay. So whatever time you have to allot yourself. And then you have to ask yourself that whatever goal I'm thinking about, is it actually achievable? Can I actually give, or it's just a fake hope? Even if it's a fake hope, you have to keep trying, and every day you have to push yourself for 1 extra hour. That okay, this week maybe I am only reaching up to 5 hours, but next week I will try to reach up to 6 hours. How I will do that? I will take 2 days break from the college. Okay, because Saturday, Sunday is off. So 9 hours directly is to you. And I will take 2 more holidays in a week. And then I will just spend 1 day and complete entire college work, make the notes, so that I'm saving 15 or 16 more hours in my week. And that I will put for this purposes. So this is how you do an effective planning. That okay, 9 hours my college is taking from me. So what I can do is, let's not go on Wednesday. Wednesday will be off. So whatever I will miss on Wednesday, I will go on Thursday, and in my lunch break, I will complete my notes. That's all. So that I saved 9 hours in a week, and I can spend those 9 hours in a particular goal. Okay. So this is like a money you have. So spend it like a money. From where I can save the money. So my time is going here, so I can save my money from here. So this is like a saving the money and then utilizing it for the resources you want to utilize it. Okay. Because it's not just like money. You cannot store it. You have to use it. If you don't use your 24 hours, it is gone. Okay. So you have to utilize it within that 24-hour time slot. So you have to think like that. So this was the first thing about the routine planning. So once your routine is planned, now you have 5 hours. You want to make sure that in this 5 hours, you study like a person of an 8-hour kind of study. You need an output of an 8 hours. And in order to get an 8-hour output, there is only one effective study method. Okay. And there is not even two. It's only one good method of note taking and a study system that always works. There are every person is doing according to themselves. They may or may not get an result, but if you try to find out a good ways which work for them, the very one thing I'm going to tell you is that what is an effective study method. If I have 5 hours, how to study in those 5 hours, and what kind of notes I should be taking so that my time is saved a lot and I get a very good marks. And that I realized from my jam preparation. I learned that in jam preparation, and after that I kept on doing that till now. Nothing is rough work. Always remember, there is in the school days, people, our teachers used to lie to us. This is a fair copy, this is a rough copy. Very later on, I realized that there is nothing like a rough work. Every work is an important work. Every work is a fair work. Nothing is rough. Okay. So then one notebook system has to be implemented. It's not like that electromagnetism one notebook, optics another notebook, quantum mechanics other notebook. Who are you who are separating the subjects? Who told you that complex analysis and quantum mechanics are different? If you are differentiating them, it means you are avoiding your brain to make any connections which are possible. So subjects are not different. It's one notebook system that I always follow. I buy one notebook. So let's say I purchase one notebook, and that notebook, let's say this is my notebook number 1. So I will give the name to the notebook, notebook number 1. Now the starting date of this notebook, let's say, is 5th March. So I started, so let's say you start taking my lectures. So you purchase a new notebook and you give that as a notebook 1, and start date is 5 March. Now you will, whatever you are learning every day, you are doing previous year questions, do it on the notebook. You are noting down some formulas, note that in that notebook. You are reading some book, you need to do some writing, you need to do derivation, you are doing some college work, anything I'm saying, whatever you need to write in a complete day, write on that notebook itself. There should be no second notebook. One notebook, that's all. If you have that just that one notebook, when it overs, then start with the second, and then third notebook, fourth notebook, fifth notebook. That's all. Keep on going like this. Nothing, you will not be in any kind of loss. Okay. So your notebook should contain video lecture, book reading, everything you are studying in a day. Everything. You are saying, sir, should I mix college notebook, college work, and competitive work as well, and your lectures as well, and my book reading as well? Yes. Give it a heading, write it down. Give it a heading, write it down. Give it a heading, write it down. Otherwise, what happens is that you forgot to revise, and that's the biggest problem. Because something is in this notebook, something is in this note, something is in this. That never works. Okay. Don't even try to separate the one notebook into 4 parts. Don't even do that. Go in a sequence: 1 page, 2nd page, 3rd page, 4th page, 5th page, and so on. End your notebook, go to second notebook, end your notebook, go to third notebook, and fourth, so on. Always mention start date of the notebook and ending date of the notebook. Okay. Now, when your topic is done, okay, then the revision begins. So let's say I'm teaching vector algebra and vector calculus. For example, let's say I'm first topic I always teach in my course, not this course, but in my ongoing courses of NET and GATE and JAM JS. First topic is always vector algebra and vector calculus in mathematical physics. So when that topic begins, you are starting writing. After 2-4 days, it gets over. So you are over with that topic. Then the revision begins. Then you open that notebook, you revise the entire vector algebra and vector calculus. Wherever you find vector algebra, vector calculus, you read that. Wherever you find the PYQs of vector algebra, vector calculus, which you have solved in that notebook, you read that. And once your revision is done, then you make a separate notes. That's not a notebook. That is a notes, which will roughly be some pages. Okay, that can be notebook as well, but main idea is now you are separating it. So now from this entire notebook, you are making the final notes, in which you will summarize the entire theory and formula for vector algebra. In last 2-4 days, whatever is written in your main notebook, now you will bring the summary out of it and you will write it down in the notebook of only vector algebra and vector calculus. Let's say you take a 10 pages and you pin it, and that's your entire new notebook. And now in those 10 pages, you will write the summary of vector algebra and vector calculus. And in that summary, you will highlight the formula you need to memorize. For example, let's say you need to memorize this integral. You understood Green's theorem, you know what is Stokes theorem, but there are always some things that you forget, and that is basically memory based things. That what is the value of this integral, what is the value of this formula, what is how do you remember those things? So whatever is needed to be remembered has to be circled with a red pen, or something has to be highlighted. Whatever highlighting method you want to use, but highlight those things which need to be remembered. Not like Newton's second law you are noting down, because that is never, you are never going to forget that. But you might forget that how to solve the rocket propulsion problem. You might forget that what was the Gaussian integral. You might forget that what was the third property of Dirac delta function. But you will never forget, the basic things. For example, you will never forget that what is a electric field because of a point charge. So these things are not needed to be remembered. So don't try to highlight them unnecessarily. Okay. Then in this notebook, important things that you learned in the questions and the PYQs also should be there. Now, there are only two approaches. Either students do not look at the questions, when during the revision, they don't even look at the questions. Once they solve the questions, that's it. Or they try to solve the questions entirely again. When they are revising, they are again solving all the questions. Both the approaches are wrong. Once you have done the questions, again skim through them, try to remember what you had done previously, and then whatever are the important things you learned in that. For example, if I'm doing the perturbation theory in quantum mechanics, then I know that this thing will be zero, and that you will not learn in the theory, that you will only learn during problem solving. This thing will be zero if the n is odd. Okay. Or eigenvalues of the perturbation matrix are the corrections of to the energy, or I need to take half of the energy when I am solving the image problem. So these are some of the examples that you will learn while you are solving the PYQs, while you are solving the assignments, while you are solving the books. So whatever are the major learning from those questions has to be written in your notebook of vector algebra and vector calculus. Whatever you learned in that, whatever, for example, let's say you learned in a very specific problem that if someone asks you what is the family of curves, and that is not in your theory, then you add that point also, because that is something we learned in the questions. Most of the questions are the simple applications of the formula that you already know or you already learned. Then it's okay. Then that question you can skip out. But something if you learned new in that question, you should definitely write it down. Okay. Then mention the weak topics, doubts in that topic. What are your this week's topics or doubts? You have doubts in this week's topic. Then mention those. No? That I have this is my very weak subject. In vector algebra and vector calculus, I am not able to understand that how to solve this kind of problem. But most of the students, what they do is they try to perfect 100% of vector algebra, vector calculus before moving to next subject. Don't do that. Move to the next topic, and whatever is remaining or whatever is weak, you can mention that this is my weak topic. Next time I will cover it. But it should be mentioned that, okay, this is my weak thing. I do not know how to write Dirac delta function in cylindrical coordinates. Okay, write that down. This is my weak thing. So mention your weak subjects, mention your weak subtopics, and whatever doubts you have. For example, I am not still able to get that how to visualize r, theta, and phi in spherical coordinate system. So that is my doubt. But it does not mean that I do not understand all the formulas. I am just having the difficult time visualizing that. I can keep on learning, but let's move on to next thing. Then people skip out on graphs. They don't make the graphs. They don't even think about the graph until unless it is directly given to them. That's a wrong thing. They try to write everything and do not make the diagrams. If you make the diagrams and if it can avoid writing the things, that is the best notes I can say. Less English, more diagrams, more graphs, more conclusions, more formulae always makes the better notes. Okay. Formula, concept, and if you can explain that concept with a very good cartoon of physics, then it's a brilliant. Then it will improve your creativity a lot. So this is how you make the notes and do the proper revision. Revision has to start when the topic ends. Okay. Even after you do a very good revision, I can guarantee you your quiz scores will not improve. So Adarsh has some question. Anyone has any question till here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have a question because, sir, I'm not able to do the questions properly because I think that, sir, the question level are discussed in the lectures are not
Mhm.
properly discussed in the manner.
So
Very sorry, sir.
that is why I have put another 1 hour for just problem solving. Okay. If you will see the quiz solutions discussion in that, you just joined the course, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
I joined the 26th of
हाँ,
Feb.
yeah,
Hmm.
because that अभी तो classes have just started ना. अभी तो I have not
Yes,
even
sir.
started taking live classes.
But
Okay.
sir, I do the foundation course. That's why, sir, I went out.
Foundation. So many अभी when the foundation physics live classes begin ना, then multiple questions will be discussed. Okay.
Okay,
Anything else?
thank you.
Okay. Good. So anything, any question till here? Okay. Now the biggest thing which I summarized on this part is that even after doing all of this revision thing and all of that, you are good in concept, but your quiz score is not improving. And that will not improve until unless you make some major changes. And I've seen that changes. I saw that how the students are taking the attempt. And based on that attempt, I'm telling you few things. Until unless you improve your scores in the quizzes, nothing is, you are not, it's not going to happen that ultimate, you are not scoring good in quiz. You are not even close to the quiz scores. And ultimately you go to the exam and you scored a very good. That is like a miracle. And that usually miracles never happen. So you have to improve your scores on a continuous basis. Continuous basis. From a small level. Okay, this week my scores improved. Again, my scores improved. Again, my scores improved. Right? So these kind of things, improvement in the scores you have to make. So it will improve your confidence. It will help you to learn how to perform in an actual exam and how to do evaluation of your learning. Whatever you have learned, are you able to implement that or not? So in order to teach you how to do quiz, I have given the two separate ways. One is a wrong way and one is a correct way. First thing that I've seen is that people just open the exam right away. Okay, so let's say they are like lying on the bed and they're watching some reels, and suddenly they saw a message in a group that you have to complete the quiz. Or let's say their own brain, some idea comes that okay, I need to complete the quiz. So then they immediately keep the phone down, they open up the laptop, they open up the mobile phone, pen and paper, and then they start the quiz. If you're starting the quiz like this, 95% students are starting the quiz like this, then definitely your scores are going to be low, because you didn't give your brain the time to focus first. Because let's imagine when you will be going on that day, your brain will be sitting idle for 10 minutes in front of computer like this. You are sitting in computer in front of like this, and then you are seeing the timer on your computer, and then your exam starts, and then you give the exam. It's not like that you are doing one thing and suddenly you started giving the exam. That's not a right way to give the exam. So one idea is that you should solve physics bar in revision sheets, and I will provide these revision sheets. What is this in this revision sheets? And this has to be done just before the exam, just before the quiz. So this is how I have designed the revision sheet. In this revision sheet, what I've tried to do is complete the formulas. So let's say you are giving the quiz on limits and continuity. So complete these 8 formulas. Now, when you will start completing this, you will realize that third formula you forgot, fifth formula you are not able to recall, seventh formula you are not recalling. Then you will open up your notes and then you will complete these formulas. So whatever formulas you are forgetting, you will not forget in an actual quiz. Then list of conditions. So basic question that write the condition for which limit exists at any point. Write the condition for which function will be continuous at any point. So you are basically, it's a 5-10 minute job. But what will happen with this is that you will be able to revise it before the quiz. Okay, and that is something I'm making, designing new, and that is I'm designing now this for every topic, so that student can at least revise it just before the topic, so that his brain starts functioning at a very fast level, and then he opens up the quiz, and then the scores you get is much higher than if you are just giving the quiz randomly. And then question practice, whatever question I discuss in my class, right, I have made that. Okay, you can make it for yourself. I'm not saying that use this one. I'm saying that you can design this kind of revision sheets for yourself also. I will be giving to you in my course, but even if you're not in a course, you can do this for yourself, right? What's the problem? You can, whenever you are learning, you can make one revision sheet like this, right? Complete the formula, basic questions. So you can make this revision sheet for yourself, and then when you try to give an exam, complete this revision sheet first and then give the quiz. So once you are done with these 10 basic questions, then you start the quiz, then your scores will be much higher. So that is the one thing you have to do if you really want to improve your scores. Solving the revision sheet just before the quiz. Once you are done with 30 minutes of this revision sheet, give yourself 10 minutes break. Don't do anything, 10-minute break, and then open the quiz. And then when you will do the quiz, then you see your scores, at least the jump of 30%, 40% of marks, rather than you are just directly going and giving the quiz. So that is one thing you should do. Second thing, finishing the exam before time. So in an online exam, this is a mock exam. My questions are done in 30 minutes. Time is 1 hour. Just finish it. Submit, scores, done. If the exam is for 1 hour, you should sit down for 1 hour. You should make sure that whatever you are not able to solve, still give some thought. Try to bring something out of that question so that complete the time. Let the exam get auto submitted. Do not submit by yourself. Do not complete the quiz before time. Giving exam in a wrong posture, for example, sitting like that and giving the nothing. You have to sit in a properly comfortably, that in 1 or 2 hours your back should not hurt, your arms should not hurt, your neck should not hurt. You should be very comfortable in giving the quiz, because understand, you are making your career. It's not like you are giving a college exam. You're making your career. Every quiz is important for you. Each and every quiz will decide your confidence for next topic. So how you can take these things lightly? Using the notebook for rough work. So people, what they do, they just open the notebook, start doing that. Purchase a proper notepad and save that notepad. Notepad means that because everyone will give you notepad in an exam, so save that notepad, so that whenever you are analyzing, you can look at your notepad and make sure that what silly mistake you made in an exam. So saving the notepad is very important. Doubting the question during an exam. Now there is no coaching institute, even the top and top institutes, because even the just is not able to make sure that exam is conducted very nicely. Then how any coaching institute you can expect that they are giving you 6,000, 7,000 questions? Every question will be right. So what happens is that you see that, okay, there are 3 or 4 questions were wrong, and then you start doubting every question. For example, let's say in assignment 2 questions were wrong. So whenever you are not able to solve the question or your answer is not matching, you start doubting the question. And what happened? 90% of the time, question comes out to be right, but your doubt was wrong. That I've seen. So always remember that in an exam, you can doubt the question after your exam, but in an exam, assume that this question might be correct. I might be lacking in some sort of thinking. And if I'm not able to reach to that thinking, let's skip the question and come to the next question. But if you start doubting the problems itself, then it will be very wrong for you. After the paper is done, doubt the question, analyze it, discuss it with the teacher, and then it's good. Consider as this if paper is made by the IIT itself. This is that kind of paper. And if the question will be wrong, I will get the negative marking. Don't worry. But consider that it's a final paper made by an IIT. Don't quit the quiz for a stupid reasons. Because when we enter into the quiz and we are not able to solve 3-4 questions, our brain start giving us the stupid reasons. No, your revision is not proper. No, you have not studied that topic. Stop this quiz and study that first. No, this is not a right time to give the quiz. Many stupid reasons our brain starts giving. If you started the quiz, end it well, or don't end it. Okay. If you have anything pending, you want to study anything more, study before and then start the quiz. Otherwise, don't start the quiz. If you are starting the quiz, complete on time. If it is a 3-hour quiz, don't start it on any random time. Make sure that you have 3 hours to give. Otherwise, don't start. Okay. So whenever you're starting quiz, make sure you can end that quiz. Some people make music on. During the quiz, they have the music on. Music should be off. Sitting without peeing. Okay. So students are getting up, going for pee in middle of the exam. Like they can spend the time on wasting it. So don't waste any time. Make sure that you are in an exam-like environment. Don't consider it any quiz as a mock test. Even if it is some test series, some coaching quiz, you are designing quiz for yourself. You have purchased some book in which the mock quizzes are there. Whatever quiz you are giving, consider it as a real exam. Once you do the quiz, the major issue comes is that how do I evaluate? And no one will tell you this evaluation thing. This is something which will change you. Okay. And this, you will realize that if you apply this technology, this technique, you will realize that, okay, this is really something worth. There are only 4 kind of questions which can be there in exam. 4. People just, if I ask someone that, okay, go evaluate your test, they evaluate. I tell you how they evaluate. Whatever questions they were able to solve, that's it. And then they will do 2 or 3 more questions which they were not able to solve. And then they will look at it, the solutions, and then done. Khatam. That's the entire evaluation. That's not an evaluation. There are 4 categories of question that you will find. One is which you already solved, for which you got the correct marks. Let's keep them aside. So you did 10 questions correct, you got right questions, marks for that, gone. Put it aside. Now comes the questions which you were not able to solve, or you did it wrong. So now those questions will be divided into 4 categories. Number 1, best questions. You didn't knew the concept and you didn't solve them. So you looked at the question, you realize that I don't know this concept, and you just skipped that. You did not spend even a single minute on that question. That kind of questions are the best. Okay. Because 2 things, you didn't wasted the time on that. Second, this question is a chance to learn something new type of problem. So that is the best category. Second, bad category. You didn't knew the concept, but you still wasted your time in trying that question. So then you are doing a bad kind of thing. So that question will be qualified as a bad question for you. It's not a bad question as such, but you made that question bad because you didn't knew the concept, but you still tried that and you wasted your time for that. Then third is worry. This is a question which comes under a worry category. You have to worry about this. You knew the concept, but you couldn't solve the question. For example, you knew the properties of eigenvalues, but the question was there and you were not able to solve it. So that is something to worry about. And then the last comes worst. That's the worst category. You made a silly mistake and got the question wrong. Nothing else can be possible. Out of those 4 categories, nothing else is possible. Something will fall into these 4 categories only. Now your task is that whatever questions you were not able to solve, not correct ones, whatever are the correct ones, that directly go out, leave. You don't have to analyze them. That's are already correct. What do you want to analyze in that? So now, whatever questions you were not able to solve, categorize them into these 4 categories. That this is the best question, worst question, worry, bad, what is this? Once you are done, then you look at your actual scores. So let's take an example. For example, let's say there were 20 questions and there were 40 marks. So 2 marks for each question. Now your score is 20 out of 40. So this is your actual score. But when you did an analysis, you realized that there were 4 questions which were best. For example, you didn't knew the concept and you didn't spend any time on doing that. So give 50% marks for that. For example, if one question is 2 marks, you give yourself 1 mark. So since there are 4 best questions, so total marks you obtained is 4. Then there are two bad questions. You didn't knew the concept, but still you wasted your time. So give minus 25% marks. So there are 2 mark question, minus 25% of that will be minus 0.5. So that will be minus 0.5 into 2, which will be minus 1 mark. Then 2 questions were worry. Like you knew the concept, but still you couldn't solve. Now you have to give minus 50%. So let's say there were 2 questions which you could have solved, but you could not. You knew the concept, but still couldn't solve. So give minus 50%, which is minus 1 for each question. So 2 questions were there. So minus 1 into 2 will be minus 2. Now, silly mistake, worst question. Don't do anything for that, because if you have already made silly mistake, then the negative marking is already done, because you have made your question wrong by doing the silly mistake. So negative marking you already received. So nothing else you have to do for this. So do nothing for that. Okay. So now let's calculate the new score. So 20 was my original score. Plus 4 I got from the best questions. Minus 1 I got from the bad questions, and minus 2 I got from the worry questions. So 20 plus 4 minus 1 minus 2 will give you 21 marks out of 40. So your actual score is 20, but your evaluated score is 21. Now you need to do a learning in these steps. Whatever was the worst question, silly mistakes you did, first come to that, because that's the worst thing and you have to improve that number 1. So write down in your notebook that what was the silly mistake you made, and make sure whenever you revise the topic, you revise this silly mistake also, that I will never do this silly mistake again. Then comes the worry part. The questions you were able, you know the concept, but you couldn't solve. For that purpose, what you have to do is, before you look at the solution of the test, you should refer your notes and books again and try to solve that before you see the actual solutions. So worry questions were those, you know the concept. So go to the book, go to the notes, and try to see that question, how to do that question, or try to make that question correct before you actually look at the official solution given in the quiz. Once these 2 categories are done, then you have to come for bad or best questions. These are basically the questions which you didn't knew the concept at all. For this, look at the solutions. Learn the new concept. Ask the teacher in the doubt class. Basically learn the new concept. So in the bad and best, you basically have to learn the new concept, do it, and you are done. Once your quiz is done, always share your report. Share your report with me or with your family, whatever. In my course, what I have starting from this month, that is why a new person is hired, Rajiv, for that. He will basically be making the student report of every student. Whoever is enrolling in my course, basically, that person will be getting monthly report that in this 5 quizzes in this month, you got this scores. And based on that, we are finding the averaging of that. And then I will be having the live meeting with every student every month. And then we will be talking that why the scores are lagging, why your mathematics is more good, mechanics is less. Because this time biggest problem I found out was I was not able to connect with my students. Some of them were doing very good, some of them are not able to do good. At least I should spend 1 hour in a day, and when I spend 1 hour in a day, I should have the reports first. That is why I hired a person who can make a report, and then I can talk with that student that this is your report. You should do that also. Do that for yourself. So in this session, I discussed 4 things. Number 1, routine making, notes making, scoring, improving the scores. These are the 3 very practical things. And 1 is about the detailed announcement of the course. Now, this course, if you are looking for any particular exam point of view, I cannot satisfy you. Sorry. If you say that this is particularly for BARC, no. I will be teaching nuclear, atomic, multiple topics. So yes, those will be used in BARC. If you say that is it particularly for NET, yes, every concept I will teach is in the NET Part C syllabus, and I will be covering Part C syllabus. So yes, is it in JAM syllabus? Yes, it is also the part of JAM syllabus. Some topics will not be the JAM syllabus. It is little bit of JEST or TIFR. So syllabus will be the part of your competitive exams. Questions will be discussed, doubts will be taken, but it is not for any one particular exam. This is basically teaching you the entire competitive exams thing. But this will also not be like, okay, this is only for competitive exams. This is also for physics learning. Let's say you are not preparing for any exam. Let's say you are one of that student. Even then you will enjoy this. Okay, so this is the basic orientation session. Now, please shoot all the questions at me if you have any in your mind.